Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. It is our first live show of 2026. SMP is back for another year, and we can't wait to see what it brings. Obviously, Starfleet Academy first. I'm your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew this side of the Golden Gate Bridge. Captain Hawk is here, ready to talk Hollow Matrix best practices with the Doctor. Yeah.
I mean, look, we photonics, we have arrived.
You have indeed. Wait till y'all meet Sam. I can't wait. And Captain MC is here, wondering if Rice-A-Roni really is the San Francisco treat.
I've never had rice-a-roni. I've made my own, but never actually had the box.
Oh man, I love it. I love that there was actually an answer to that. I'm excited. Welcome back. Happy New Year, guys. Happy 2026. How we doing?
We're doing okay over here. Yeah. Yep. Weather turned today, and all that horrible snow from last week is gone.
Well, that's good. The weather here was beautiful as well. I took my kids to the skate park this afternoon after school.
Nice.
So for some rollerblading, it was a lot of fun. I hate that we have to start an episode like this, but I personally didn't feel comfortable pretending that all is okay for 90 minutes as we talk about Star Trek. So before we get into tonight's episode, we need to acknowledge what happened in Minnesota last night, the murder of Renee Good. It was an act of violence that should never have happened. And everyone here on Strange New Pod just condemns it unequivocally. We believe those responsible, including Kristi Noem, Donald Trump, and the so-called officer that committed this murder, must be held accountable for the policies and actions that have made this possible. ICE, as an institution, has repeatedly shown that it causes harm, and we believe that it should be abolished. We stand with the people of Minnesota, with Renee Good's loved ones, and with everybody demanding justice and humanity and some common fucking decency. Star Trek has shown us a future built on dignity, compassion, and accountability. And right now, it feels like we just keep moving further and further away from that vision. But that future only exists if you and I and all of us choose to fight for it.
That's very well said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We sit here in Canada aghast at everything that is going on and the events that transpired. I don't know what to say except, we're with you. We see like the threats to your nation. I'm so sorry. This is really hard to articulate.
It's hard to put into words. I didn't do a lot with my day except follow along with what was going on because I'm enraged, and I'll just share with everybody right now. I told these guys off mic. I found out about an hour ago that there was a protest downtown in Philly, and had I known about it, I wouldn't have been here tonight. I would have been down in Philly doing my First Amendment right and protesting what's going on right now. So I know it's hard to talk about. I know it's hard to figure out how to put what's happening into words. I understand that we have a privilege to have a platform to be able to say things like that. And honestly, if you have a problem for it, then this probably isn't the show for you. But with that said, I don't want to spend much more of your time because I know everyone does listen to us for a chance to escape for just a tiny bit. So with that, we'll get into the episode. And smiling this week, we are officially 1 week out of Starfleet Academy. And that means it is time for your wants and don't wants, some of our wants and don't wants. This show is primarily your show this week. You guys sent us in a lot of your wants and don't wants. And unique to this edition of wants and don't wants, the review embargo, the spoiler-free review embargo lifted today. You can go read my review of the first 6 episodes right now, completely spoiler-free on strangenewpod.com. Go check that out. but we'll be able to answer some of your wants and don't wants without some spoilers and give you kind of like our take about how we're feeling. More so on the first episode, because these guys have only watched the first. I've watched all of them. But yeah, it's going to be a great episode. Can't wait to get into it. Before we do that, MC, we need you to be the first of 2026 to thank our amazing patron collective at the Ready Room level and above, please.
I'm going to set the bar for the year.
The fuck you are. You can do it.
Yeah.
Thanks to Simon Steger, Jeff Reeve, Tallulah, Jantha Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Kang Wee, Tadako Nagumo, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Colin Davidson, Shatterhand 2049, Jesco, Michael Graham, Emily and Travis, Maggie Light, Wayne Ritz, Skona Vark, Sean, Jay Howard, Mehalami Uchiyama, Matt Herker, Joshua Lewis, Tara Poland, Slope 74, Rude Parakeet, Adam Sanders, Amy the Magic Snail, Aaron W., Carl Angoli, Michael Kwan, Caitlin, Elizabeth Dean, Jim McMahon, Sedano 317, Puka Hair, 3 Fries Short, Cat Tip, Tripping the Read Alert Over a Pineapple, Sean Manning, Asher at the Bat, Chris Waterman, RHCB, Martin Simpson, Norman Buckwald, David Prime Hildebrand, Taryn J. Robinson, Rob Grinner, Eric the Red, Treble, Jamie Roberts, Honeyberry, Paul Taylor Pitt, Brett Jones, Michelle P., Margin Walker 82, Melissa Bartell, Jesse Robbins, Kim, Chris Finoglio, Felix Dax, Kelly McKinnon, Chief Petty Officer Snuggles, Lisa Moore, Kristen Byer, and Big Easy Blasphemy. I was doing so well.
Hey, for the first one of 2026, that was basically perfection. So well done. Well done, MC. And thank you to our amazing Patron Collective members. And of course, as always, a big thank you to our Badmirals, our EPs who make sure temporal mechanics students are never late. And the cafeteria is always stocked with root beer. And maybe some tube grubs for Nog. You know, Simon Sager, Chris Waterman, Tara Poland, Dana, Matt Harker, Jim McMahon, Maggie Light, Pfeff, and Michael Graham. Thank you guys for all you do. And thanks for doing it again for 2026. It's going to be a fun ride. Let's get to some quick news. It's 2020. It is 2026, if I could say it right. It is 2026, and that means that it is time for season 2 of Strange New Adventures. It is coming soon, folks. We've recorded session 0 for the campaign that I wrote personally called The Cries of Mars. That has been recorded, and we have also started recording some really fun short form content that's going to help you guys get to know the story a little bit more, get to know the characters that are amazing. I'm calling them a cast now because they started as patrons and now they've become the amazing cast of our Star Trek Adventures playthroughs, and they are all amazing. You're going to get to know them better. You're going to get to know their characters better. And I think the plan is to record session 1 in late February. So inching closer and closer, folks. More Patreon members. There's a big post on Discord that you can read. I should probably put it on Patreon too, about big changes coming, all to help boost the platform and how you support us, including some incredible work that MC has designed, as well as some stuff that I'm going to be doing as well. I'll actually be taking a step back from live shows during Starfleet Academy. I'll be back for episodes 4 and 5. Giraffe is going to take up hosting gigs again, just like she did for Con. So look forward to that. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, I'm going to be bringing a lot of new content here. Happy hours. We already had our first one last weekend. MC, you have some really cool stuff in the works. Do you want to give any hints?
Well, like last year, a lot of it is going to be anniversary celebration stuff. And I will say that my favorite piece that I have done is of characters that I really wish had been in the Sons of Star Trek comic.
Okay. That is a nice hint. Very well played, MC. I like it. So as I mentioned before, Starfleet Academy reviews, they will start next Thursday live Giraffe will be hosting those. And then we kind of found out late that the premiere is a 2-episode premiere. So how this is going to work, much like Strange New Worlds, next Thursday, will be live. That'll be the episode 1. It's an hour and 15 minutes. A lot to talk about with that episode. A lot of people in chat I was at the premiere with have already seen it. And then these guys are actually going to pre-record their review for the second episode this weekend, and that'll drop the Monday after the premiere. I believe that's the 22nd or the 19th. Sorry, the 19th of January. And then we'll be live again moving forward with Giraffe there. So look forward to those. Does anybody have any other news, or am I missing anything?
I think
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
let's give it to wants and don't wants.
Let's do it. Before we do that, though, I do have a strange new loop. So we've all at least seen the first episode. And I will ask you this. You have the opportunity to write an episode of Academy. What's your episode about? A class? One of the students? Continuing 32nd century lore? What do you got? Chat, let us know as well.
Okay, I think I've got one right away.
Do it.
It's a little cliche, but you know what? Tropes are tropes for a reason. And that's, I would do a takeoff / parody of The Breakfast Club, but with Star Trek.
Nice.
It's classic for any school related show. So yeah,
So,
do that.
so you're already anticipating detention at some point in these students' careers, right?
Considering what I've seen of these characters, yeah.
That's fair. And that's good. I would
it.
love them to draw a lot on John Hughes films.
Love it.
For myself, I don't know. Part of this kind of came into my wants and that, so I'm trying to think of something, an episode that focuses on like the students and classrooms. I mean, there's a whole kind of, say virgin territory that we're exploring in Star Trek and that, as far as the history that they're exploring and that, post-burn and that, and everything that happened up until this point. So yeah, if we're doing some sort of classroom episodes, I don't know. Engineering. There's got to be definitely a good engineering episode that focuses on classroom time and that, because warp tech and their whole drive technology is changed at this point, right?
Yeah, because they're using warp, and then they're using that new one in that they introduced at the end of the finale.
That we never got to see.
No, we did see it. They
We did?
Saru and Nan were in a shuttle using it.
That's right.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pathfinder drive or something like that.
The pathway drive.
Pathway drive. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that, Hawk, and it would have to be, that has to be a TIG episode, right?
Well, exactly.
Oh, definitely.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Love it. Chat, let us know if you have any as well. I got one. Listen, this is disco era. I think it's going to happen at some point, no matter what. I don't know if it's going to be this season or not, but we need a Michael episode. Like, Michael needs to come guest lecture at the Academy, and it's gotta be either A, on temporal mechanics, though I could argue that you could have Stamets come and teach temporal mechanics as well,
True.
or teach a course on the mirror universe.
Ooh.
Because I think that would be a really fun for her to play in there, and it'd be a good reason to bring back Michael. So yeah, Tara says definitely want to bring and use disco ties for sure. Yeah. Jesse says I want Pelia to show up. She could still be alive, right? Yes, I think that she absolutely could still be alive, and that would be really cool if she did. So here's hoping for that. Holodeck training episode where we unexpectedly encounter the characters from Strange New Worlds or Picard. Listen, I wouldn't put it past to get a Michael Dorn or a Spiner in there.
I mean, that feels almost a little bit like the Kobayashi episode of Prodigy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like,
yes.
just like a bigger version of that, which I don't mind. I don't hate that idea.
Yeah. Tara also says getting a book. And I know why. I know why she said that, but I won't call her out on it. But Book would work because Book could like teach a pretty cool course, I think, on like the economics of like the post-burn world. Like, I think that would be a really cool course. So
Totally.
I like it. I love it. Sweet. Anything else, guys?
I think we're good.
Cool. Well then, time to do some wants and don't wants. We are going to go right into them, and we are going to start with a want from one of our Badmirals, Jim McMahon. And he says Robert Picardo to be the Doctor from Living Witness, but sadly he's already said that that's not the case. Yeah, so let's talk about this because Robert Picardo has said that he wasn't like months ago that he's the Doctor from Voyager, not the one that was reactivated in the museum. And great episode, right? Can confirm also that is the case. We've seen him. He's the Doctor. Would you guys have liked if this is what it was, or are you happy that it's just the Doctor?
Well, I love the episode Living Witness. It is such a good episode, and there's such a great little tag on the end of that where they could have picked it up here and it would have been like the perfect Easter egg, but I can understand them not doing it. Now, that being said, one thing they could do sometime this season, sometime next season, in the hopefully third season, they could have the Doctor from Living Witness finally make it to Earth.
Right, like show up.
Yeah, and then you have the two different versions, and that becomes like a whole thing because you have this version of the Doctor who has lived through all of those years, and then this other one who has been deactivated. Now, you would have to explain how they both end up looking the same. Either you're going to do some very wonky CGI on Robert Picardo, or it becomes like that episode of Doctor Who where they have Peter Davison appear, but he's all older. He's with David Tennant, and he's like, oh, because we're together, you know, your aging matrix or changed or whatever. So yeah, I think they could work something out, and I would love to see that.
Damn, I don't remember Living Witness all that well. It's been a while since I've seen it. I just read a little brief summary in that, but it basically he was awakened in that to answer for war crimes that Voyager committed centuries before. That'd be so dark to send him to teach kids. I'm cool with like, you know, the story in that because like, you know, we also have to realize there's like this big 900-year gap in that between like, you know, the Doctor we knew and the, you know, the program now. So I think it's pretty important to kind of map out where how that character has evolved over the centuries, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Hawk, let's do and I do want to touch on this real quick and get into like some of what we've seen and what we know about Captain Ake already. Like Captain Ake is half Lanthanite, right? So, yeah. I think then like you run into a little bit, there's maybe like a bit of like a same storyline, like the Doctor from that Living Witness would have all that like knowledge and history, but then you also have Captain Ake who has history of like the world and stuff. So I think that would be okay. Well, I don't think we need two characters who kind of remember the bad times. It could be cool. It could not. Like, I don't know. I'm on the fence about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get a want from you, Hawk.
So a want from me. Let's see. Definitely, since it's school, we want to learn a lot about the Alpha Quadrant and post-burn and where up to this point in that. So I would love this series to be able to kind of fill in a lot of those gaps. You know, some of the gaps, you know, that we see filled in like with novelizations and sub-stories and that, you know, but like really dig into the history in that of like what happened in that, the separation in that, how society has evolved without communications and travel between each other. I really want to see that kind of explored. And this is a perfect environment to do it. It's a classroom. You know, history is going to be a big course for this series.
For sure.
Well, I think even outside of that, just having world building, because by having it be in Starfleet Academy rather than Starfleet proper, the characters are less integrated into things. It's not like every week we're going from planet to planet doing a different thing. You're kind of more decentralized. So you're able to, I think, see more of the world. And I would really like that. Julian and I were talking about the episodes Paradise Lost and Homefront, I think is
Homefront,
yeah. And as much as I love all of the political stuff in that episode, I love the stuff where it's just like them going to Cisco's and just hanging out there and seeing like Nog come in, like just kind of like that little tiny bit of like every day. I like the idea of that. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for world building that we did not get in Discovery.
Yeah. And I will say, I think this is not delving into spoilers. I think like spoiler free. I think the show so far has done a pretty good job with that. Like I think that they're doing that. I'd like to see it a little bit more. But yeah, they are definitely like fleshing out this world a little bit more. I think you'll see a lot of that in episode 2, going up like what Hawk said too, like kind of like talking about like what happened in the past. Like it's gonna get there. You're gonna get some of that stuff, and I think people are gonna be excited about what they see. Let's get to our first don't want, and we're just gonna tackle this one right the fuck away. This comes from Cassie, Jesse, Emily, NY and Jim, and I think like literally all of you, and worded in about a million different ways. Large focus on romantic relationships, basically Starfleet Academy 90210. Let me say what I said in my review. This is a school show with teenagers, and teenagers fuck, and they have sex, and they're horny. And I'm trying to be nice about this and just not say you're wrong, even though you're wrong. Jean-Luc Picard showed us in Tapestry what Starfleet is all about. He fucks around. He gets in bar fights. This is what Starfleet Academy is.
I have to tell you, on my list of wants, the first thing on the list is silly teen drama. I'm sorry, like when I was coming into this show, the idea of silly teen drama is what I was looking for. Like, I know I seem like a huge fucking nerd who was just into like sci-fi fantasy, but I watched all of Riverdale. I watched The OC. I'm old enough that I did watch a couple seasons of 90210. So like the whole idea of teen drama like appeals to me. And I mean, even going into stuff like Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
yeah.
I mean, what would Buffy be without the teen drama? Like, yes, she is killing monsters and everything, but the monsters were always a metaphor for teen life. So I would like to see the same thing happen here. And yes, I know part of the whole I think gripe about focus on relationships comes from people being tired of that, from especially things like Strange New Worlds, which, let's face it, that's focusing a lot on relationships. But I am not going to fault a bunch of horny teenagers for that. When Spock, I'm sorry, should not be acting like a horny teenager. Like the people on Strange New Worlds, like put the blame where it belongs on these adults.
It's not their fault. They're all sexy as fuck.
I mean, that is true. But yeah, I mean, these are teens. They're attractive. They're, on their own for the first time. So yes, they're going to go wild.
This originally showed up on my list of don't wants and that because, largely a game based around Strange New Worlds and that, and like, the horny Spock and situation and will they, won't they? But then I had to take a step back and realize that, yes, we are dealing with an academy full of young people at the prime of their lives. To quote, Saul Goodman, from Better Call Saul, the corpuscles are corpuscling. And yeah, it's not fair of me to ask them not to, and not to explore that in the writing and that, because it's absolutely built into the framework of the series itself, and the premise is that they're young people and that they're going to get into relationships, and it's like, asking it to keep it light and breezy is asking a lot in that, because yes, they're going to get into relationships, they're going to have flings and that, and they're going to be overly emotional about them, and I'm bracing myself for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again,
I think
it's unfair of me to ask them not to explore that.
I think it's actually doing a disservice to the show to not explore it at all, because one of the reasons why Starfleet Academy becomes so interesting is because it is different than your normal Star Trek. It's not this, we're going to travel to a strange new world every episode and solve problems. These are completely different characters. And one of the reasons people love Lower Decks so much is because it's such a different show where it's, this animated comedy. And now we've been talking about it for years, like the idea of let's get a Star Trek that's not like a typical Star Trek where we're using the world, but maybe not the genre. Like people have talked about doing like a political thriller for Star Trek. And we finally like have the opportunity where it's like, let's do Star Trek, but as a teen drama. So I need to like experience more genre within Star Trek.
Yeah. MC like just knocked it out of the park. If you ever question the whole Star Trek Starfleet Academy 90210 thing, take a step back, come back, listen to the past 7 minutes or so of the show and listen to what MC said, because it's literally perfect. I will also not ignore her this time and read Dana's comment, who wrote, if no one dated at Starfleet Academy, it'd be the most inaccurate school show ever.
Yep.
LOL. Facts.
Yeah,
True facts. And yes, there is romance. There is dating. It happens. Some of it's kind of hot. Some of it's kind of lame. That's teen drama and romance. You're going to be okay. I promise. I promise. Yeah. MC, let's get a don't want from you, please.
So I think as soon as I say this, people are going to know exactly what I am talking about. And that is, I do not want these cadets to end up jumped up officers right away or at all.
Right.
I am somebody who I love Star Trek 09. Like everybody, this is the one thing I think people know about me is that I love the Kelvinverse. But the fact that every single character except Spock ended up jumped up from cadet straight to senior bridge crew drives me up the wall. And I don't want to see that. I like the idea of seeing cadets who are learning. And it even happened in Prodigy to a certain extent. No, actually, to a big extent. It just happened like quite right.
They literally gave them another ship at the end of the series.
Yeah.
And they're still kids.
Yeah. Let's just let them be students. It is fine to not do the normal Star Trek thing.
I mean, again, that's built into the premise, right? We are going through the learning process, and I think if nothing else, this can be a big kind of push for education as a whole, to society, that there is a path to success, through education. Yeah.
MC, I think that that's a great point too, and I think I think it's warranted a bit. I wrote in my review that I'm a little bit a tiny bit worried about Caleb being a bit of a Gary Sue, and that could be something that maybe happens, and I really hope that it doesn't, because I like the character. I just 4 years and a what do you call it, is a session abroad, right? Like on a starship, they need it. They can't go a year and be like, you're an officer, congratulations.
I mean, I think if you look at Nog in Deep Space Nine, even Nog had a kind of sped up trajectory, but I think it's a good template because he does go off and is in school, but then he comes in and is basically work study, and it's not promoted, I think, until season 6. So it does take a while. It's fine. People do, and even when he's promoted to ensign. It's fine for people to go through the chain of command normally. And I have only seen the first episode, as has been said. But what you've said about Caleb in the review, I was like, oh, I was kind of picking up on that in the first episode. So that is your worry. I don't think is unwarranted, since I was picking on it myself.
Yeah. Let's go to our next set of wants, and this one is from Jill, our resident meanie mod on our Discord service. Thank you for all you do, Jill. She writes philosophical, scientific, and ethical dilemmas, thoughtful and rational characters who truly live to make the universe a better place. Thoughts?
Absolutely. That's the core of the episodes that we all love in Star Trek. Philosophical discussions. I had thought about a particular angle for an episode in that I thought maybe they should try and tangle. Some of the best episodes of Star Trek always involved some sort of government overreach, what do you call it? The drumhead, definitely.
Okay, yeah.
The episode with Lal. I would love to see an episode that kind of focused around it's is there an outside influence on Starfleet Academy and that some kind of governmental pressure and that to teach certain things, maybe revise certain aspects of history in that, because there's got to be a lot of bad blood
getting close to home right now. Yeah.
I know, but you probably got to remember with the burn in that there's a lot of history there in that, and a lot of bad blood between certain planets, certain races, species.
I mean, even the planet they're on right now, because United Earth and the Federation were separated for a long time.
Yes, exactly.
I've been doing a lot of reading over the past couple of weeks about pre United Federation of Planets Earth and about United Earth, and dude, that's what Earth went back to. They literally went back to that form of government. So things had to have definitely not been as clean and cozy as the Federation during that time period. Pretty wild. I would love to, Hawk, you were talking about that earlier, seeing more of the background of post-burn explored. That would definitely be one of the big things. And if there is, like you said, a revisionist history there, super, super compelling stuff.
I would like to throw out an idea here, if we're talking philosophical, scientific, ethical dilemmas, something that could actually tie to history. Mock trials.
Hell yes.
Oh yeah.
You could do mock trials of stuff that already happened in the Star Trek episodes.
That would be
awesome.
Oh my god.
Yes.
And mock trials are cool in that. I remember in Suits they had there was that episode about a mock trial that they were doing at the law firm, and that was actually a really great episode. That would be a perfect kind of teaching environment episode to have for in the Academy.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
This kind of goes actually right along with Jill. This is my first want. Focus on class dilemmas and just seeing them in the classroom getting taught. I want to see Jet Reno teaching these kids about Jim and black licorice, and maybe even making them super uncomfortable, and the ethical prime directive of not sleeping around while you're on a starship with unknown alien races. I would love the awkwardness of that class. But I want to see them in the classroom, and we for sure get that in this show. It's Starfleet Academy. We do get that. From the first 6, I'd like to actually see it a little bit more, but yeah, more teaching, more classroom, good stuff. Cool. Let's do a don't want, and this is from Dana. A personal vendetta story arc that takes up most of the season. Also, I don't want the legacy characters to overpower the newbies. I want the kids and all their space hormones to be the stars of the show. Yeah.
Personally, yeah. So far, I have from the first episode I've only watched the first one, and that's exactly what you're getting is that the legacy characters are there, but they're not overshadowing the actual dramas and plights of the students.
Yeah. I really like what they've done so far. The doctor is very much good and there, but in the background. But you get Gina Shara's character definitely a lot more. Even Jet is more in the background than the new characters that this show is introducing. And our new characters are a lot of fun. I cannot stop gushing about Gina Yashare, as I think is Laura Thawk, I believe is her name.
Laura Thawk.
Laura Thawk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our half Klingon, half Gem Hadar. She is gold. So I agree on that one. Any other thoughts on this don't want from Dana about a personal vendetta story arc?
I think that might be an ask just based on what I've seen.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, we always knew there was going to be some sort of an overarching story in that. So I'm just going to say, I hope you enjoy it.
Well played. Well said. Hawk, let's get a don't want from you.
Okay. So one of my, an overuse of nostalgia I don't want to see in it, we like nostalgia. We like, little references back and forth here and there. And, that's all and fine. I just, we have such new territory to cover in that, there's really no reason to kind of bring up, dig deep into the vaults anymore. And that this should be a time of exploration and newness, new species, new planets, new histories to explore, we don't need an overuse of it in that. It's kind of one of my gripes with one episode from Strange New Worlds last season, the Trelane episode. The end was just so point on, nostalgic for nostalgic reasons.
Loved it.
I hated it.
I know
just
you
so
did.
Unnecessary.
I loved it.
I just want to see them I give the writers some room in that, it's like they've got stories to tell them that they don't have to rely on what's been in the past.
I will be the dissenter here because everybody knows I'm a nostalgia whore.
Mm.
I love nostalgia. If I get it, great. If I don't, also great. I don't care either way, but if I get it, I won't ever be mad at it because I love it.
I have to admit, one of the wants that I had written down was nuggets of info about legacy characters, particularly the Voyager group. I like references. I like nuggets, maybe a little Easter egg in that. But, when you're kind of developing your whole plot around something that's already been done, I just wanted, yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah.
I think from what I've seen that they've done some really nice stuff. Like, this is not a spoiler because they had it in a promo picture, but the wall with all of the people's names on it.
Yes.
And you kind of get to see where different characters ended up in rank. Is there was one that just made me just beam.
Which one?
I don't want to say because I don't know if it was in the
okay.
promo shot. I think it was just in the episode.
That's fair. That's allowed. All right. I'll accept it. Speaking of little nuggets and Easter eggs and references, Kung brings up a good point. Are we far enough ahead in time to see a live action version of the Miles O'Brien statue? To which I say, I think so.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
I think it's our choice as to whether or not we're far enough in the future. And frankly, that little school looks like something that could have been in Starfleet Academy.
Yeah.
I would like to see the Miles O'Brien statue because we haven't even seen it in Lower Decks. We just saw a hologram of it. So let's see where it really is.
But if we see that, then we also need to see little Borg students as well.
I mean, there's no problem with that.
Nope. The statues. Okay. Yummy on Prod wrote, Hawk missed out on no nostalgia in November. And the statue survived the burn as well. According to them. Yay. Cool. Speaking of Yummy on Pod, we are on their want, which is a good one. I want Giamatti to yell at these kids. You won't be disappointed. I think the trailers show some of that.
There was already a scene of that came out. Yeah.
He's wild in that episode. Yeah.
I wrote it in my review, and I am a huge Paul Giamatti fan. I love Paul Giamatti, from way back when. But I feel like he, like right now, like the exact words I use in my reviews, that he's a bit of a parody like version of his character Chuck Rhodes from Billions, who is one of my favorite characters on a show of all time. But I don't need to see that character again. And I'm not saying I feel like I have to say this a lot because I actually really like Starfleet Academy. And I really like all the characters, including Nusbraka, but he's not what I quite want him to be yet. So
he's definitely different from the Chuck Rhodes character. One of Chuck Rhodes' famous things is quiet threatening, you know?
Yes.
It's like when you lean in close and you tell him exactly, you know, you threaten quietly. That Nusbraka, very different.
Yeah, from what I've seen, Giamatti, he looked at all of the set and he's like, I am going to eat everything I see.
Yeah. I do love that man, and honestly, like he looks great. Like he looks great in Star Trek. Like I like the look. So, cool. Let's get is it a want? Yes, a want from MC.
From me. So I've already said a lot of my wants as counterpoints to people's don't wants, but I will say one of my wants, which I think is a really big deal. And while I know everybody's been saying they don't want romances, but I think a very important thing is that it doesn't have to be connected to romance, but let's have some queer characters. I will always say this about everything. There always needs to be more queer characters, but I just feel like Star Trek was doing so goddamn well on their queer characters with Discovery and with Lower Decks, and now they're all gone. I know that theoretically Chapel is bi, but we haven't had any mention of that since season 1 of Strange New Worlds, and even then it was such a quick reference that I know that there were some people that missed it. So it's like, you didn't really put a lot of shoulder into that representation. So I'm not sure I want to give that to you. And these are teenagers. They are out in the world. They are exploring themselves. I think it would make sense for somebody to realize it's like, hey, let's have a coming out story. Let's be like, oh, do you know what? I feel differently than a lot of my peers, and I, need to explore this. That is something that happens in teen shows. It happens a lot. Let's not have a sweeps kiss between a couple of the same sex and then have that never come up again. But let's have a real story of somebody coming out.
Yeah.
I have to choose my words carefully, and I'll just put it this way. Representation matters a lot to this writer's room. And yes, I will leave it there. Let's do a don't want from Emily Ree. And I agree with this one.
So do I.
Too much action and pew pew. What is too much? I know it when I see it. Yes, a great point. Yeah. I also don't want a lot of action and pew pew from Starfleet Academy. Yeah. And they released like a 2-minute clip a couple of weeks ago with a lot of action and pew pew. And I don't love it. I want a lot of this. One of my biggest problems with Starfleet Academy, as much as it's cool, like I'm going to be saying this a lot this season, even though I'm not going to be on all the episodes. I love the idea that the school is a ship, but it also creates a lot of problems for me because I want to see this grounded on, like we've had 60 years of Star Trek, and we've not been on Earth a whole lot. I want to see Earth. I want to see a grounded Star Trek. I know the show is called Star Trek, but I don't need photon torpedoes and phasers in all of my Star Trek. Yeah, totally on board with this. What do you guys think?
Absolutely agree with you on that. And I mean, yeah, we have not spent a lot of time on Earth. Again, another reason why I love the episode Homefront and Paradise Lost, because that's one of the first times our characters actually visit Earth during the present day. That does not happen a lot. We don't see a lot of like everyday life on Earth, and I want that. This is our home. If we're going to be so freaking American centric in Star Trek and don't pretend that we're not, as we are, then we might as well like at least like embrace the earthiness of it. And yeah, I mean, this speaks a lot to what I've been saying, where it's like I want a different genre of Star Trek, because Star Trek doesn't need to be an action adventure sci-fi thing. Star Trek is its own universe that can be a bunch of different things, and I feel like it's flirted with that a little bit, but has not really dove in yet. And I think we're starting to get more of that from different genres. You see that in Star Wars, you see that in Marvel, where things are not copy pasted all of the time. And I would like to see Star Trek embrace that a little bit more, because I think Star Trek has a more complete universe than a lot of them.
Yep, true. Yeah, exactly. Less of the pew pews, and this is a time when you're supposed to be learning about how the pew pews actually work.
Well said,
and
Hawk.
that you don't need to pew pew all the time.
Yeah.
Well, this goes back to like what you said. It's like the only complaint about Star Trek '09, and that is just the jumping up of to advance them to that position that we want, that all the fans wanted to see them in, anyways. But it doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. No, this is the time when we want to see the nuts and bolts and that, and this is important. If this show does anything, to kind of push the importance of education, and that it has to get down into the nitty gritty and have these students work through problems, come up with solutions in an academic setting.
Yeah. Both very well said. Very well said. Going from pew 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 adversarial stuff, I'll go to my don't want, which is it's going to happen on the show no matter what, and I think it needs to happen. But I think there needs to come a point in Starfleet Academy where these kids stop competing with each other and start all lifting each other up. Because of course, like year one, there's going to be a lot of jockeying for position and who's the best, and that's normal. But I don't want that to be the core of like every single episode. I want these kids to like, this is Star Trek. We're supposed to like be showing a better future, and like, for lack of a better term, like not show bullying and hazing and things like that. And yet, of course, there's going to be some of it, but I really want this beautiful cast of characters, because they really are. And I had the honor and privilege of getting to meet some of them on Tuesday night, and they are all wonderful. And I do just want to lift them up. I
Yes.
really lift each other up a lot. So
Especially because a lot of them are going to have different specialties.
yeah, exactly. So just I don't want a whole lot of like adversarial behavior between all of them.
Yeah, hopefully I don't. Yeah, because that gets into some pretty rough territory in that.
Yeah.
This is really where friendships are forged, right? And we kind of want to see that process too. It's like they're we always see like in Star Trek and that crews become friends and that, but we hear a lot about their past relationships and friendships and that. It's like I knew him from the Academy days and that. And it's always that fond nostalgia and that. So I want to see that, like those old friendships forged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Let's get back to wants. We have a want from MYRL Light. I want cameos from characters from the show. I mean, how are Saru and Tarina doing? Okay.
I know. It would involve asking Doug Jones to get back into costume again.
Oh, I don't think he'd have any problem with that. But more does it make...
He's retired from
did
doing
he?
prosthetics.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. But also, I think there are characters that make sense to have cameos on the show. I don't know if Saru and Tarina are necessarily...
Tarina,
maybe if they're doing like an
Absolutely.
exchange program with like the Vulcan Science Academy or the
Mhm.
Navarre Science Academy, I guess it's probably called now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, I just, said that,
No, I
Trina
know.
could probably
Yeah,
show up.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, she would be really good, like in that like mock trial episode. Or, oh my God, what if they did like Model UN, but it's like Model Federation?
That'd be awesome. Yes.
Yeah, I could do some cameos in that. I think we talked a little bit.
We did.
definitely want, we
Yeah.
definitely want to see a Burnham. Who else from Discovery do we want to see?
I would like to see Stamets.
Yeah, Stamets I think would have to do like Stamets would have to do some kind of like guest lecture on just about anything. Yeah. Because he was also at a point in his career, it's like his life's work had been denied because they decided to go with the pathway drive instead of the Explorer drive, right? So he's kind of like a lost puppy, unfortunately, in the 32nd century. So pull a Tilly and come teach. Cool. Hawk, we are on a want from you, sir.
A want from me. This one's a bit far out, but I'll throw it out there anyways. I want a new mischievous godlike character who is not Q to become a fixture in their lives.
Okay.
I don't know how this would come about. Possibly on some sort of lecture, and maybe they free it from some sort of like prison that it was in. But it would be interesting to bring back like that kind of unfathomable kind of alien power back into the Trek universe like Q. But also somebody who kind of regularly pops up and it's like, hey, what's going on? What you guys up to?
I immediately jumped to the Great Gazoo.
Yes. which is basically like Q is basically a malevolent version of that. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Yummy on Pod writes, Lieutenant Nilsson's wig returns. Lieutenant Nilsson's wig will return in Avengers Doomsday.
I love those memes.
Oh, they're so good. We're gonna actually change it up for this round and start with our first limerick of 2026 from Tara, which has some wants and don't wants in it. And it reads, hoping for an academy driven by the science and not endless fighting that bores me to defiance. Yes to cool graphics and LCAR schematics. Please cue a big orchestra. I need proper Trek resonance. Bravo. Bravo. You set the bar a little high, Tara, to begin 2026 with that one. Let me talk about the music for a second. I love what Jeff Russo has done with the music in the episodes. They've also brought on someone to do some music with Jeff that's like kind of pop rocky. And I basically have a lot of disdain for it. I do not like it. And I also have to say the theme song is like not. It's a Picard ripoff. I'm sorry, Jeff Russo. Don't be mad at me. I love you so much. Your score for Alien Earth is like one of the best scores ever made. But it just misses the mark a little bit. I'm sorry. The music inside the episodes has been like chef's kiss. Really excited for people to no lyrics. Don't worry.
It's been a long road
getting from there to here. The music inside the episodes is really good, except for the pop rocky stuff that they put into it. Anything anybody wants to touch on from Tara's limerick?
I would agree with you on the music.
Yeah.
Tara kind of nailed it with it.
Yeah.
More science, less fighting.
Yep.
Defiance.
The graphics are really cool. Like the stuff that we see is really cool. Like the set design, the graphics, all of it is
no
wonderful.
doubt. Like it's still like one of the best looking iterations of Trek we've seen.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit, I think, in terms of graphic design that they've managed to fit in because it's like a school, so it's all over the place. Yeah, I like that.
Same. MC, let's stick with you. Let's get a don't want from you.
Universe ending problems.
Yep.
Does anything else need to be said?
Nope.
No. Please. No. No more. Disco, we love you, but too much. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Too much. Well put, MC. Yes. Please no Save the Galaxy stakes, please. Let's do, we have a kind of string of don't wants here. We have a don't want from Jill. People knowing they are breaking rules for personal gain and without rational reasons, because that's how you start a war.
Yeah.
I think that it's interesting to have characters. Go ahead, Hawk.
I think I need definition on this. People knowing they're breaking rules for personal gain but without rational reasons.
I feel like it's okay to have a character moment like that every now and then, as long as they don't take it to like just making the character like mustache twirling villain. But like, I think it's okay to have like some moral quandaries and moral questions every now and then.
I mean, students are going to get up to some shenanigans, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's for personal gains, though, I don't.
I mean, you really got to ask, like, who is the question about? Like, is it about the students? Because, like, how are they going to do something that starts a war? Meanwhile, I mean, are you talking bad morals? Because have we had any bad morals in this century?
No,
yet?
we still have Daddy Vance, and he's still Daddy.
He should stay Daddy. He won't be a bad moral.
No,
Never,
ever. He's wonderful so far, by the way. Yeah, I don't mind some moral dilemmas every now and then, even some rule breaking. And this isn't a spoiler; it's a school show. There's going to be rule breaking. It happens. Another don't want for me. Have I even done a want yet? No, I have done a want. No, I don't know. Well, I'm going to do another don't want.
Okay.
I don't want. I don't know. No, everybody wrote it about in their reviews, so I could say it, and I will say it like I said it in my review. I don't want a heavy focus on the War College. I don't like the idea of the War College. I don't like the idea that it's been integrated into the story. From what I've seen of it, I don't think it's been done particularly well. So I hope it's something that maybe is only in this season, because so far it's not doing it for me. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'll have to see more to kind of really give a solid opinion about that, but I kind of get where you're coming from on it. Yeah.
We had a really cool concept about this when we were talking about it, I think back like during like San Diego Comic-Con, when they showed the trailer and like there was the stuff about the War College, and like we saw the Klingon logos on Laura Thawk's uniform, and we thought like this might be like an inclusion of like, you know, somehow like including the Klingon Empire into things. And that would have been like a really cool concept. But yeah, I'm not quite there with that so far.
Fair.
Yeah.
More science.
More science. Science
Yes.
at Astra Per Aspera. Come on. Let's get a want from Emily Ree, who wrote Noose Braca to be a complicated, layered villain.
That would be really nice. I would like that.
Yeah. Although, I don't know, sometimes villains don't need to be overly complicated, but again, we're also talking about a villain in a series, you know, so depending on how much he's used in the series, you know, we definitely want to see a little bit of complexity, right? You know, Nero's great for, you know, a one movie in that with very simple kind of, you know, non-complicated, you know, motives. But yeah, for a TV series, it's a fair ask for a villain to have a little bit of complexity.
I would also argue that I think Nero has some very complex motivations. I think just a lot of that was cut out of the movie.
Sure was.
Probably. Yeah.
Sure
Okay.
was. Yeah. I already said how I felt about him, so I'm not going to say anymore. He's not there yet for me. I hope he does. I hope it happens. Let's do another want from you, Hawk.
So for once, I'd like to see some good material for Tatiana Maslany. You know, she's a great actor. You know, I'm really glad they cast her. I don't know how much she's going to be used throughout the series based on the first episode, but you know, if we do see more of her. I hope her character is good. Very talented actor. We were all very sorely disappointed that basically she was kind of driven out of the She-Hulk, role by fans and that. But you know what? She keeps busy. She was just in this new Osgood Perkins movie, Keeper,
Nice.
which I haven't seen yet, and I'd really like to see because I love horror and Osgood Perkins.
Well, Hawk, I'm worried about this. Not based on anything we've seen or anything. I'm worried about this because of what she's already said about Disney. She doesn't want to work with Disney because of their views with the current political regime and kind of bowing to the Trump administration. Well, Paramount Skydance has now done the same thing, so I don't know if she's going to want to work with. I hope she comes back. I don't know.
I would actually argue that Paramount Skydance is probably worse than Disney.
Worse. Yeah. So we'll see.
It's a want, we can throw anything up in
I
the
want
air
it
and
too.
that.
I'm with you on it.
Yeah.
I'm with you on it for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. We are talking about Tatiana Maslany's character, who I don't
know if it's been really identified. Yeah, I don't know if it's really been kind of.
Okay, so we'll keep it just at Tatiana Maslany's character.
Yeah.
And we are going to do our last mailbag want tonight from NYRLite, who writes, I want to know more about what happened to the Klingons of the Dominion in the 32nd century. Well,
see, now, this was on my wants, and then I was looking down the list, and I saw yes, and so I decided to leave this. NYRLite, yes, we need some clarification on that, because the Klingons, it's like for essentially they were kind of gone from the 32nd century, so yes. What does Klingon society look like right now? Do they worship Worf? Which they should. And how did the Jem'Hadar come to the Alpha Quadrant? And the half Klingon, half Jem'Hadar was kind of confusing me for a bit because we only really knew about like Jem'Hadar being mass produced in birthing chambers and that and I had to kind of research in that. It's like, are they asexual?
Jesse literally just said the same thing in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm super curious about that because listen, 1,000 years is a long time. Evolution happens, I'm sure, as our dear friend Jeff Goldblum says, life finds a way.
Finds a way.
But
so preoccupied if they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
10 out of 10 on this mailbag, by the way. Absolutely want more of both of these things, 100%.
I mean, it's funny. The last thing is a want from me, and actually my final want was I would like to get updates on various worlds that we haven't really seen in the 32nd century. Is that what they're in?
Yep.
Yeah, we had a lot from Navarre, and we know that we're going to have some stuff from the Klingons in Starfleet Academy, and I would like to see some more. And of course, we've got in Discovery the president of the Federation or Starfleet Academy, who is like part Bajoran and part Cardassian and part human. I would like to see groups like that where over 1,000 years you have had these enclaves that are very much mixed together, especially because when the burn happens, people are going to be, stuck on planets, together. So you will have this more intermixing and more creation of identities outside of what we remember. These are evolutions. Let's see Ferengi that are really influenced by everything that happened while Rom was the Grand Nagus. Let's see a House of Worf in the Klingon Empire.
Yes.
MC, so well said. Yes, 100%. And to go off of that more, Jesse wrote, I love that by the 32nd century, we've all cross-pollinated. Because like you said, the president of the Federation is half Cardassian or whatever, Cardassian, Bajoran, human. Like, that's awesome. That's wild. Like, more of that, please. Yes. And yes. MC, I have you as our last want. I know that yours connected to that one. Do you want to do one more want to end the show?
Do I want to do one more want? I think I've actually expended all of my wants and don't wants, but I will just say that I would like this show to get a fair shake from everybody. I know that it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I have, just from seeing the first episode, I think it's good. It's not like grabbing me right away, but I am going to stick it out because I do think that there's something interesting in there, and I would like everybody to give it that same shot. That not everything is going to appeal to everybody right away. And maybe you watch it and it's not something that you're into, but at least give it a chance. Don't just say, oh, this is a stupid teen drama, I don't want to watch it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Just give it a fair shake. It's like, it had really, if it doesn't have the, if you can't give a series like this, the freedom of change, then are you even really interested in Star Trek or television at that point? Or do you just want the same thing over and over again? And I don't think true fans do. I think they want something different.
100% agree. And I will go off of that and say and grab my ticket. I had the absolute pleasure to go to the premiere on Tuesday night. It was awesome with a good amount of people in the chat. And one, I want to thank New York City Away Team for inviting me and for the folks at Paramount Plus, because I'm not going to shit on like the people that are like not in the executive offices. They, proved me to go. And so thank you for giving me the opportunity to go. The reason I bring this up is because afterwards, there was not a person I talked to who did not love this first episode and really enjoyed it. Some of them are in the chat now. Like, give it a chance, because, like, yes, the Kurtzman era of Star Trek has had highs and lows. I was skeptical about it when it first started in 2017 with Discovery Season 1. Just like MC said, I stuck it out and ended up loving it. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
And if you don't love it, you don't have to, but it also doesn't mean you need to shit on it.
Yeah. Remember TNG Season 1. Come on. Nobody thought.
Remember TNG Season 2. Or at least the TNG Season 2 finale. Yeah. So give it a shot. We'll be back here next week. Episode 1, Starfleet Academy, the premiere. MC, Hawk, and Giraffe will be here. I think Eric as well. It is going to be a really good time. I can't wait to see what these guys do and talk about the episodes. We have some other fun stuff planned. I think the plan is for me to write the weekly reviews this time around. So I think I'm going to be doing some written reviews for Starfleet Academy. So look forward to those as well. Dana, I did like a while ago. I read yours, I think, somewhere. Yes, I read your Don't Want. Don't judge me. It was there. Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. Cool, guys. That is going to do it for our wants and don't wants for Starfleet Academy. We will see you 1 week from tonight. Same bat place, same bat time. 9:30 p.m. Eastern time here on YouTube. For MC, for Hawk, I'm Julian. Live long and prosper, Majram. Enroll in class today. We will see you next week. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put it in a Google Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.